Well, welcome back to Daytime. Well, I'm very pleased to welcome to the program actor Ryan Carnes. Thank you so much for being here.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
Now, it's fabulous to have you because you have such a broad range of experience and roles on TV screens, you know, for the last several years. Desperate Housewives, of course, I want to start there, is one of the big things that you're known for. What do you think, you know, being on that show sort of did for you as an actor?
Well, being on that show, I mean, it really did do a lot for me, and I mean, sort of across the board. I mean, it got me more opportunities in the industry because it was, I think the whole time that I was on the show was the #1 or #2 rated show. So that, you know, that definitely opened a lot of doors. And I got to, you know, on a personal level, I got to experience a lot of things that I hadn't yet experienced in Hollywood, you know. A black car picking me up to take me to a special network event, you know, things like that, and that, you know, those were experiences that were incredible. So yeah, it definitely opened a lot of doors.
And being on set too with some fabulous, very, you know, super famous, well-known actors and actresses, of course. You know, did they kind of, you know, take you under their wing a little bit, and did you pick up anything from being with these sort of veterans?
Well, you know, I have to say that while I was on the show, I wouldn't say that anybody really took me under their, well, you know what, nobody really took me under their wing, so to speak, but Eva Longoria did something one day that I'd sort of heard about, you know, actresses doing, sort of one of those myths, and I happened to be standing in her light right before a shot when they were sort of doing lighting and stuff, and she was very sweet. I loved working with Eva because she was always a very generous actor, and she always treated me really, really well. And she reached up and she touched me on the shoulders, and she just moved me ever so slightly over, and she goes, "There." I said, "Thank you, Eva." So I mean, you know, if anybody did that, it was definitely her.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned Eva too, because you know when we received the press release about you, one of your claims to fame is, of course, and I'm completely reading it from the press release here, trimming Eva Longoria's bushes is how it, so, you know, it's a little playful, a little tongue-in-cheek, but it's,
little tongue-in-cheek.
It's great that you had a great experience with her. That's really fun.
I did, and she wasn't the only one. You know, people always ask me about the controversy on the show, and, you know, give me the dirt, and I tell them, I saw no dirt, you know, other than in Eva's front yard. That's the only dirt that I saw. Yeah, I mean, everybody was great. I had a wonderful experience, and the other actresses I worked with were all, again, really generous and sweet, and I had a wonderful time.
Now, of course, you know, you started out doing some commercials for Nintendo, things like that, but then you moved on to General Hospital. You know, being on a soap, we hear so many actors and actresses starting out in soaps. What was it like being on that set in, you know, the sort of beginning of your career?
Well, it was a little surreal because I think I'd been on one film set before that, and you know, soaps, for those of you who don't know, soap opera sets are very different. There's always, I think, at least 3 or 4 cameras going at once. So, you know, a red light lights up, and then I know that this camera's on, so I know that I have to adjust my body position. Then I see this camera light up out of the corner of my eye, you and I sort of do-si-do, and then, you know, we're on this camera. So it can be a bit overwhelming for a young actor, and there's a lot of dialogue. You know, they shoot now with so many soaps being cut and with the budgets being cut, I mean, some of them shoot 2 episodes a day, 2.5. So, but it was great. I mean, again, I've been really lucky in my career to work with just great people. So I had a great time, made some friends that I'm still friends with, and it was awesome.
Now, you know, a lot of the characters that you've played, you know, the one you played in General Hospital and the one you played in Desperate Housewife, were openly gay characters. Now, how is it for you as an actor to portray that? Is that a conscious choice, or does it matter their sexual orientation?
Well, I mean, is it a conscious choice in how I portray the character, or was it a conscious choice to do the character? To do the character. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think I've made a decision in my career that wasn't a conscious choice. They both, I mean, actually, to tell a brief story with Desperate Housewives, I got brought on that show as a co-star, and just to be the friend of the gardener who was on the show. And then they came back I don't know, a few weeks later, and they said, you know, we're introducing a new character who's going to be Eva Longoria's confidant, and you know, the caveat is that he's going to come out, he's going to be an openly gay character. Is Ryan okay with doing that? So, you know, the reality was that I'd been on the show, and then I got presented with a golden opportunity, you know, to be a part of the golden goose laying the golden eggs. And I said, are you kidding? I think I said this. I would be a lamppost on Wisteria Lane if I got the choice. And I have to say that I'm really grateful that I made those decisions, because it taught me a lot about being a more open, understanding, compassionate person.